Not that long. Yeah, I was trying to hit a nice clean 90 to 98 minutes. So it was like 103 maybe,
Yeah.
and then left room to cut.
Yeah, but then we tested the movie pretty thoroughly in terms of the tonal management. When I say test, not like, you know, in an AMC theater with scores, like really smart filmmakers, peers, and always try to bring in someone who isn't a part of the business to get their sense of it and get, you know, trusted people who won't yes man us and will tell us the truth. And that was very helpful for this process, where we learned we learned some things where we thought, boy, you know, we thought we were overstaying our welcome here and people wanted more of it. I can't believe it. Great. Or, you know, we thought this joke was killing and everybody's like, yeah, that was hammy and I was way ahead of you. So all those things were very helpful.
So that's going to ask you, like, what were some of the takeaways from those screenings that actually helped the film?
I mean, it's always, to me, like, I can tell when you lose people. I think it's just propulsion is like the number one thing when you're making a film, and I think if you're gonna slow things down and anybody falls out, there's got to be a reason, a really strong reason why. But I think with this one, we were so conscious the entire way to bring in all the perspectives. We had such a diverse team every step of the way, even through to the feedback. So it was really great to bring in so many different voices who could tell us, like, when he says this line, this is going to speak to my experience in this way that's different than yours as a cis man, or, you know, as a queer woman, you know. So everybody kind of brought that, and we were able to really fine tune and say, this is what's hitting the right, you know, the right level for all of us to feel represented in here.
The score was a really interesting thing that happened too, because, you know, it's a pretty patiently paced film in a lot of ways if you just look at the cutting of it. But when the score was able to come in and bring some of that sort of low-grade tension, it buoyed people's attention span and carried them along in some of the places that we weren't doing as well with the
and I think it being a human voice too, this does something subconsciously that makes you feel a little bit of propulsion, feel like there's one other person in the dome at times.
Well, we got some questions from the audience members right now. I just wanted to, you know, this is what happens when you get older. First question is for both of you. So, did any comedy films influence your performance? And you specifically had brought up Biodome, that, you know, but were there other films that kind of influenced your performance or your direction?
You know, I weirdly, like, the thing that's always most inspirational to me, I watch, 90% of the stuff I watch is documentaries. It's just what I love. So I am always aspiring to bring something in the level of reality to my performance. That's everything I'm going for all the time. And then in terms of, like, you know, comedy stuff, you know, I definitely, early on, I was like, I'm going to pitch my voice a little bit differently in this movie, because I think it will be interesting, and I don't know why, but I kind of like trust those kinds of instincts. But it's weird. I mean, you said earlier, like, there was no comp for this movie. You know, like, it's kind of not how we think for some reason. Whatever, we're always trying to find our own thing, I guess.
Yeah, I know, it's so hard. Like, comedy-wise, I was just like listening to the 14-year-old boy humor inside me, which is kind of my humor. But and also, to be honest, too, thinking about, you know, all the sitcoms that I grew up with in the 80s and 90s, and this kind of bro-y humor that I think is really funny. And then also, though, there's a certain point where you can find the things that don't hold up anymore. You know, we're more aware now, and I think really like trying to ride the line on that humor, so that we could kind of point that out, and the toxic masculinity that isn't funny, you know, in that way.
That's
anymore.
a really good point. We did talk a lot about, like, the those aren't pillows moment in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and like the morning after the sex scene is specifically kind of shot to feel like that scene, and to put you in the place as an audience of, like, this is going to be so funny. I really want to laugh that these two men are intimate and they're uncomfortable with each other, right? But then to kind of thwart it and not play the joke, and then just be like, yeah, I'm okay.
We even wrote it in the script that said, you think this is going to be a those aren't pillows moment,
Yeah.
but it's not that moment.
Next question is from Mark D. Oh, no, that's for Mark D. So I can't read the name, but I can read the question, which is, one example of best and worst things that have changed since going from micro budget to larger budgets.
Oh, it's an interesting question. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna be straight up. Like, the level of pampering that I get on the morning show, it's just wonderful. You guys, I just fucking love it. I show up and they have my breakfast burrito as I like it, and my coffee, and they're so sweet and respectful, and they give me my time. And what that does for me is it buys me the patience, and it makes me feel excited to go back and return to like run around like idiots like Mel and I do when we make our movies together. So it very much helps me with that. So that's the good part about it. I mean, what's the worst part about it? It's hard for me to say. I'm just such an appreciative person of everything that I get to do. I mean, I can't believe I have a day job like the morning show that pays me what they pay me, and then I can go and pay for movies like this that we get to make together. So whenever any little thing comes up, I'm just like, so what? Like, boo fucking who? Like, it's just the best. I mean, look, you know, that there are definitely times when, you know, I feel like, oh, we've got 4 big producers on this project. It's like $100 million movie, you know, and we've lost the clear-headed vision of where we are headed, and now we're just doing the lowest common denominator note that appeals to most people, and that can be a little like sad at times when you're in the middle of that, you know.
Absolutely.
But to be perfectly honest, usually I'm just like, but I'm okay because I'm gonna make my paycheck and go make my creative stuff with Mel, so I'm good. I'm usually buoyed.
Okay, last question is from Lynn Alger for you, Mel. What messages from the film do you feel are the most important about relating to the world today?
And there's so many, but I think the way I'd encapsulate all of it is that I think, you know, our society is very fearful of anybody who's trying to change a definition